Happy Valentine's Day, sneak peekers. I'm Nolan Wally, and I hope everyone watching had a great time this holiday spending time with their significant other. But I know some of us missed out. Studies show that around 45% of college students are single, and while you definitely save more money than me today, it's very likely that you're not wanting to stay single. If that's the case, this segment is for you. I have spent months curating the perfect list of movies to watch on your first date, and the list of movies to avoid. I'll be displaying these movies in a broad sense so that you can choose from a good variety of them and adapt them to you and your date's personality. Because obviously, the perfect first date is different for every first date. Starting off with a good first date movies, we have to go to the classics, specifically classic horror. This genre is a staple of first dates. It's a great experience in which you can both share a traumatizing experience which builds the strongest of bonds. Some staples of this genre include Scream, the Evil Dead trilogy, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Exorcist, The Shining, and The Thing. You might notice that a lot of these films hold very strong comical elements, and that is one reason why classic horror works better than modern horror for a first date. Yes, it can be scary, but it's often lighthearted. Your date won't be afraid to walk home with you after watching Nightmare on Elm Street, and if she is, then that's completely your fault. Coincidentally, the first bad date movie category I'll introduce is what I call the ultra-violence. If your film's main attraction is just an outrageous amount of gore, it's usually safe to steer clear. These movies can be enjoyable, sure, but on a first date, they're going to be wondering why this is the movie you chose. Examples of this are The House That Jack Built, Salo, Funny Games, and obviously A Clockwork Orange. One of my friends in high school tried this approach for first dates, and I can confirm that it does not do you any good. This man is chronically alone. Our second category for good first date movies is the John Hughes collection. I truly believe this man invented date night cinema. You might not remember the name at first, but you've certainly heard of his movies. Some of them that I can recommend are Flubber, Home Alone, the National Lampoon movies, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and The Breakfast Club. Basically, all of his films are perfect for some lighthearted fun, except Weird Science. Weird Science might be a strange choice for a first date. This next one is a specific pet peeve of mine, so take it with a grain of salt. The second category for bad first date movies, movies about nothing. There is nothing worse than watching a boring movie on a date. You'll be full of so much nervousness and energy, and to have it matched by the dullest film ever is a horrible mix. A list of some of these movies include Banshees of Inisherin, The Founder, The Irishman, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I know some of us behind the camera are giving me a death stare for saying this, but it's true. These movies are terrible picks for first dates. I personally had a first date watching Nomadland, and it was the worst first date I had ever been on. But because I'm sexy and funny, I'm still dating that girl 2 years later. And that is the end of my list. I hope one of these films sticks out to you and that you'll end up using it soon, but that might be too optimistic. Hopefully you and whoever you're watching with tonight have a future